Welcome to Sun and Star Farm. I'll give you a quick view of my French fried garden. We've had triple-digit heats down in southern Texas, despite watering and all of my attempts to keep this garden alive. Even my self-watering pot are French fried. Yeah, I've never had my garden look this bad. This is my third year growing. The only thing that seems to have survived are a few of my tomato plants that get shade during the heat of the day. So I have gone and purchased shade cloth. I'm going to get stakes and I am going to shade cloth my garden. I'm actually in the process right now of replanting everything in pots that tolerate ridiculous heat. But this garden is an embarrassment. I am completely embarrassed by my garden. I had a illness that's still plaguing me now. Still trying to figure out what caused it, but I have severe anemia, which wipes me completely the hell out. I was in the emergency room. They misdiagnosed it as dehydration, which dehydration might have been part of it. I also found out that I have hypothyroidism, that I am now just on the 5th day of taking medication, which will help, along with iron from the doctor, future appointments with doctors in August to see why I am severely anemic. So that has kind of wiped me on some of the stuff that I do because of just being exhausted. I water my garden, but I obviously did not do a well enough job because pretty much everything has French fried. But I am not a person that believes in failure. If the first time you don't succeed, try again. And all of these guys got watered last night. Didn't even look like I watered. The heat is just sucking the life out of everything. So with hopes of, same with those peppers. I mean, it's ridiculous. So with hopes of putting down wood mulch after I plant plants, and with the help of shade cloth, I'm gonna fight Mother Nature, and I'm going to have to make it a habit to water every night, not every second or third night, because I do not want to not have a harvest out of my garden. Yes, the grass is tall in between the aisles. We have not come out to mow just because of how dry it is. The longer grass actually helps the soil to maintain moisture, so that way the ground doesn't dry out and become where the soil won't absorb water. We do have high clay here, and if that ground dries out and cracks, it won't matter how much I water it, the water will just run off. It'll become hydrophobic, which means it will not absorb or maintain water, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to take you inside real quick so you can see some of the stuff that I'm planting, and then yeah. All right, this is what I'm working on right now. I have the next 4 days off of work. Tomorrow is going to be spent running errands, picking up feed, hay, shavings, going into the bigger town to get supplies that we need. So today is Sunday. I go back to work on Thursday. My goal is to get as much hot crops started and put into my little greenhouse on the patio that does not have plastic on it because of how hot it is. But that way I can control watering from bottom watering to prevent the packs from drying out so my seeds will start. I am going to be planting the Jingo Orange Okra, Alabama Red, Crimson Spineless, Burgundy Okra, and I've grown the Burgundy, that's really good. Star of David, which is one I have not grown yet, but I've heard that the fruit is delicious. And the pink okra, which I have grown this, and this is actually a longer okra than what you would normally. It stays softer and longer and more narrow. It had really good flavor. Okra is something that you can freeze. It's also good for using as a thickener for like stews or for like gumbo soups that you want to have a little bit thicker consistency. Okra will thicken that up. You can dice up okra, flash freeze it in the freezer on a cookie sheet with wax paper, let it freeze into individual little cubes, and then once it's frozen, put it in a Ziploc bag and store it in your freezer, and then you can pull it out and you'll have okra all winter long for your soups and stews. You can also bread it and fry it, which that is a huge thing here in the South. Okra is like a staple in the South. Something else that I will be planting, I just got this one. See if it'll zoom in. I'm not even going to attempt some of the names of these, but it's eggplant. And it's not going to zoom. Yep, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but it's a new variety of eggplant. And then I've got Ashword, which is would be really good for using for like your eggplant parmesan. And then I have a green variety of giant eggplant. And Black Beauty eggplant, which is more of your traditional eggplant. And this is a purple and white stripe. I grew this last year. It was a really good eggplant. This is a Chinese string eggplant. It's kind of, well, it's very similar to like my white eggplant. And yes, I buy burpee seeds. It's more like your long, slender. These are good for soups and sauteing, for stews, for stir fry. And I have four variety of the long, ranging from dark purple, green, and white. And then the Thai purple ribbed. These are cute little eggplants. This would be also another one that would be good for your eggplant parmesan, or to season and cook up like a hamburger patty if you're a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian, but if you're a vegetarian, you could make eggplant burgers out of this one. It's a really pretty little eggplant. I don't have my seed packs out right now for some of the other stuff that I'm planting, but I'm going to replant my herbs, specifically basil and sage, because both of them are very heat tolerant as long as you keep them watered. I'm also going to replant my chives and keep them up on the patio where they get shade in the afternoon so that I can plant them back into my garden in the fall. I want to start fennel because I can plant in the fall and it'll be in the garden all the way through. It's got a wonderful licorice flavor if you've never eaten fennel leaves. Mine has gone to seed right now. It kind of looks like a Queen Anne lace, but the flowers are yellow. You can save the seeds to eat or for planting. We will see whether or not that happens. I've got quite a bit on my plate. So this is what I am doing to combat Mother Nature. Shade cloths, replanting things. I'm going to plant some more tomatoes. I have a long growing season. Our normal frost date is beginning of December. So I've got quite a bit of time. I've got some new squashes and small melons that I'm going to grow on my trellises to help provide shade that I did not plant in the summer or the spring, to see if that will help with some of the shading. And I think if I plant that stuff now, it should harvest way before my frost date. And maybe with the heat, I won't have such a heavy pest problem. I fight with vine borers with squash, and that's why I had originally not planted anything. But I think with the heat, I have not seen hardly any bugs. And then on top of that, with all of the poultry in my side yard, I think they're knocking the bug population down. So I am not giving up, but these guys have given up. Passed out monkeys. But I'm not giving up. So wish me luck. And just remember, it doesn't matter how long you've been growing a garden, even if it's your first year or 20 years. When you're fighting against Mother Nature, it's easy to fail. But you just pick yourself back up and you just keep trying, figure out new ways, research and try to learn different ways to grow things to try to combat whatever Mother Nature is offering. So like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you on my next video. Thanks.